Obviously not the way we wanted to play last week from an execution standpoint. We didn't do enough to win the game. We put ourselves in a bad situation the whole game. Turnovers, special teams play, just not where we want to be. So, for us, we have to focus on us and getting better and our ability to execute in critical moments, and that's what we're working on. Obviously, we're playing a Nebraska team that's big, that's physical, that play the game the right way, and we have a tremendous challenge this week. Have a lot of respect for Coach Rule. One of my good friends, Frisman Jackson, worked for him at a couple different places, and said nothing but good things about him. So, I think we understand how they want to play. They want to beat you up in the trenches. They want to be physical. They want to try to dominate you. And so for us, we have to make sure, number one, we rotate a lot of guys, keep guys fresh, for the physical pounding that's about to happen on Saturday night. And then, find a way to execute at a higher level. Obviously, we work crowd noise today. We feel like that's going to be a factor in the game. So trying to get our guys as locked in as possible to be able to handle the crowd noise, to be able to handle the environment where we can give ourselves a chance to compete at a high level. So I'm excited about this week. I think our players are excited about this week. Got some young men from Nebraska on our team who's happy to go back and compete. And I think we will go out there and compete with everything we got. I believe in this team. I believe in the leadership, the maturity of our football team. And what happened last week will not affect us how we play this week. And we'll be ready to roll.
A little surprised what happened Saturday, considering how you played against Boston College.
Southern Illinois is a good football team. I think the misnomer is, FCS opponent or whatever the case may be, but I don't see people lining up to play North Dakota State and South Dakota State. I mean, the Missouri Valley Conference is an excellent football conference with good players that get drafted. And so we had a lot of respect for SIU, and they beat us. It's interesting, one of my teammates reminded me this week on Sunday, he said, you remember our senior year, we lost to Western Illinois. And then we went off and won 7 straight games. So, it happens. Not the way we wanted to play, but we have to move on and get ready for Nebraska.
Is Rule using some of the stuff, the past coaching spots, in college and maybe a little NFL, that you've seen on film?
Well, you can tell their style. I mean, they want to run the ball. They want to be physical. They want to get downhill. They use the quarterback in the run game. Number 7 is an excellent player. We played against them a couple years ago. Number 10 came in last week. And so they got big tight ends that they can swipe and get involved on the perimeter and get the quarterback to the perimeter. And they got running back that play downhill. 22 is an excellent running back, physical. We have to gang tackle him. And then up front, they have a big physical offensive line. Their line coach, Donovan Raiola, was an offensive lineman at Wisconsin when I was a GA, so I know what he's about. I know his DNA of coaching a position, the toughness and discipline it takes up front. So they want to maul you, and we got to step up to the challenge.
What did you see out of the watching the film, going back, looking at it? What did you see out of the offensive line that wasn't there, wasn't working, and what are the hopes for this week?
Yeah, no, we got to play. We got to play with cleaner technique. I mean, last week it was a lot of stunts and angles that caused problems with us up front. They blitz a lot of guys downhill, and that caused some problems. So we got to clean that up because obviously what you put on tape is what you're going to continue to see. And so up front, we got to work in unison. And for us, it starts up front. And if we can't get the type of movement we need up front, it's going to be a long day. So I know those guys are working hard. They take pride in their performance. And, I think we'll be ready to respond.
You mentioned that they were selling out a lot up front last week and that, it's on film now, and teams are gonna, you have to adjust because teams are gonna keep doing that. Aside from, is there anything beyond what you just mentioned that has you confident that if a team decides to, sell out like they did last week, that you guys will have better performance?
Yeah, I mean, we want to throw the football. We've thrown the ball more than we have in the past, and so we will continue to do so. But we got to give the quarterback time to throw the football, and if you throw the football with efficiency, then people will stop doing some of those things. So we have to have balance. We got to continue to space the field out a little bit more, get some guys in space where they can have a chance to do some things, and take some pressure off the line in the run game at the moment.
Coach, Trayvon's been kind of quiet these first two games. Is he still working his way back into a good rhythm, getting readjusted again? Our defense is focused on him. Anything you can attribute that to?
Well, I mean, we had an opportunity to hit him on a touchdown, and we didn't hit him. So I think some of that being quiet is, the ball's not finding them at certain moments and certain times. So, we got to do a good job trying to get him some easy touches where he can have a chance to get involved in the game early and have an effect on the game.
You comment also on the MAC and the Big Ten going against each other. I mean, they've done it before, the schools. And this is big for the university to play at an arena like this and then play a program like this.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I would love to see the MAC and the Big Ten collaborate where we can have these type of games all the time. I mean, we shouldn't have to play other opponents per se, where we got the Big Ten, we can travel, it's easy travel. We know each other, the conferences work together hand in hand a lot of times. So, I think it helps us, obviously, from a financial standpoint, but it also helps with the fans and people traveling to the games. There's a lot of familiarity with the teams and so forth. So I hope they continue to do MAC versus Big Ten, give us an opportunity to play, but also give us an opportunity to help our athletic departments as well.
Coach, you mentioned the Western Illinois game when you were a player, but you also won some big games as a player and a coach. What would winning this game mean for the program where you guys are at this point in the season?
Yeah, no, I think to be honest with you, we just want to play clean and go execute and get and go fight. I mean, I can't think about winning at the moment. There's a lot of preparation to be done for the game, but we just want to play clean, go match the intensity, have fun, and then we'll let it at the end of the game. We'll figure out who won and who lost. But we want to execute at a high level in all three phases of the game: offense, defense, and special teams. And if we do that, then you know what? We'll let the chips fall where they may. And you can walk off the field with your head high, whatever happens, because you put your best foot forward. But last week we didn't put our best foot forward, and that's hard to take. And so we want to put our best foot forward against a great team with great players, and see what happens.
And then you talked a little bit about the special teams blunders. Did you leave the competition open for maybe Cannon Woodille to get a couple opportunities at field goals? Because I know he's made some in the past for you.
We believe in Jake. Jake is our field goal kicker. We're going to stick with him. Cannon is doing a nice job on kickoffs. That's his role right now. But we're not going to get back. We're not going to get into the flipping and flopping guys because the guy didn't have a good day. That happens. That's part of football. But we believe in Jake. We believe in his leg. We believe in his ability. Nobody takes the games harder than the players. Just so we all on the same page. I know fans get upset or whatever, but the players are the ones that put the investment and the time into it, and they have to live with the success and failure of football. Same with coaches. So Jake took it hard, but we believe in him wholeheartedly. We feel like he's going to win games for us as a field goal kicker.
As most games, and especially Saturday, line play, offense, defense, that probably make the difference of who's going to win this thing.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to the trenches, right? I thought our defensive line played excellent last week. Those guys have confidence. They have physicality. I know there's a lot of time people say we can't get sacks. I believe we had 5 sacks last week. I believe the defensive ends had 3.5 sacks by themselves. So, this game is about the O-line and D-line. Our D-line got the job done. Our O-line did not get the job done. And so that was the result. And we turned the ball over 3 times. So.
I know the rule suggested maybe the best defensive line to see so far this year.
Yeah, that's coach talk. I mean, I get it. He's trying to fire his guys up. But they played Minnesota, who I watched on tape, who's pretty good too on defense. So, I'm confident in our defensive line. We got to rotate guys. I think those guys are going to play physical. I think those guys are going to play aggressive. I think they're hungry. They got a chip on their shoulder. They've had some success, which that makes you want more success. And we've known our defensive line is pretty good, for a long time. And hopefully they can go out there on Saturday and put another good performance out there.
You talk about the chip on the shoulder, I know it's been, especially when talking about the defense. Obviously, it's been a really good performance the first 2 weeks. Have you seen that hunger inside of them?
Yeah, I mean, they the thing is, we didn't add no new players on our defense. They are executing, and that's a testament to the coaching staff. Coach Benedetto, Coach Bresky, Coach Moore, Coach Geely, Coach Bland. Those guys have got those guys to play at a high level, and that's what we have to strive for on offense. We have to get our guys to play at a high level because there's no magic plays to football. There's execution, okay? That's what the game of football comes down to. How well do you execute? You see a lot of teams play simple offenses, but they execute at a high level, and they got 500 yards of offense. So our defense is executing at a high level with the same players we played with last year. So that's what we got to fight for on offense. And that's I'm in the offensive meetings now talking about, we need to get our stuff together so we can be the type of team we want to be, where we can play complementary football and do things the right way and play the right way. Because one thing I will say, our players are playing hard, okay? They are playing extremely hard. And you know what? We have to give them more answers to be able to execute at a higher level, especially offensively. But defensively, those coaches have done a phenomenal job. I've seen it since the spring. I've seen it since the summertime. You got 11 guys working together, communicating, buying into the system, and those guys are playing at a high level.
Coach, despite outgaining your opponent by more than 100 yards, you guys obviously weren't able to punch it in. What adjustments do you guys plan to make this week, and can we anticipate a more aggressive offensive approach?
Yeah, you know what? We're not going to keep banging our head against the wall. I can promise you that. We got to find a way to get the run game going, and I don't care what it looks like. We need to find a way to get our run game going where you take pressure off the quarterback, and then we you know what? We may have to get speed in space. So, we got to do some things differently. We got to be a little more balanced. We may need to throw to set up the run, and that's fine. So whatever it takes to play better and more efficient on offense, we're going to try to do because our defense is playing too well right now to not take advantage of that.
You had said on Saturday about how few sacks this team has given up over the past 2 years.
Yeah.
One of the best in the country at not allowing sacks. Obviously, after Saturday, how have you seen the O-line take that performance and go moving forward?
Yeah, sacks is just not on the offensive line. That's a misnomer. The first play of the game, the sack is on the running back. So, it takes everybody on offense working together to protect the quarterback. And that's what we have to get to. I mean, we didn't have any sacks the first game. We gave up 4 the second game. So, we have to clean that up. And Nebraska is one of the top, I think they lead the country in sacks. So they got a tremendous D-line that's going to create pressure. They got linebackers that's going to plug gaps. So we got a tremendous challenge to protect our quarterback. And that's where it starts. And then obviously as receivers running the right routes and the quarterback getting the ball out on time or making the right checks, depending on the pressure that he sees. But we have to make sure we protect the quarterback because the hardest job on the football field is the quarterback position. I think it goes without saying. So we all have to sell out to protect the quarterback, make him feel comfortable where he can distribute the football.
Coach, Coach, you guys play at least one of these games every year in a hostile, huge stadium environment like this. How beneficial is that for the guys, just in terms of sharpening their focus, toughening them up, and that kind of carries forward through the rest of the year?
No, they're going to be excited. I mean, 90,000 people, and you plan on TV, national TV. Good. Well, I won't have any problems getting these guys ready to play on Saturday night. I promise you that. They're gonna want to put on a show, put on a performance, and go compete at a high level against a great opponent. So, the last time we went to Nebraska was after we played Utah and we were beat up. We're not beat up right now. We got a healthy football team with a lot of guys that can rotate, and we're gonna use them all. We're gonna use them all. I told them early in the week we're gonna rotate a bunch of guys, and guys that may have not had an opportunity early. You got to be ready when your number's called, because there's no way we can go out there and play with just 22 guys and think we're going to hold up for 60 minutes. It's not possible. But if we can rotate guys and keep guys fresh, then we can go out there and go fight.
Is this one of your selling points, also recruiting games like this, where you say, hey, we're going to play here or there?
Yeah, no, I think that obviously it helps in recruiting. I mean, you play Notre Dame next season. Who wouldn't want to go play Notre Dame? So these type of games are big in the recruiting process, but also it's big for our team. They're going to be fired up to go play this game and go try to put their best foot forward against a quality opponent.
Anything else for Coach Hammock today? All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll continue with our Husky players. Thanks to these guys for joining us. Defensive tackle, Cade Haberman. Wide receiver, Jalen Johnson. Defensive end, Ray Thomas. We'll take questions now for the Husky players.
This one's for Cade. So you're one of the Nebraska players on the team. So what does it mean to get back to your home state, play in front of friends and family, and also 90,000 other people?
Yeah, it's a great environment. I've gone to a handful of games growing up. My junior year, we played the state title game there. Memorial Stadium is just a fantastic stadium, and I'm excited to play there in front of a very passionate crowd.
Ray, overall, just how would you say what's been the biggest factor for the defense's success so far?
I think the biggest factor for the defensive success is the communication that we have, and just making sure each and every guy knows his job.
Then Ray, for you guys on the defensive line, this could go for Cade as well when you're done, but you guys have a very deep unit. You have a lot of different players that rotate in and out that all contribute. What's it like? It's like an iron sharpens iron situation where you guys just all make each other better.
Yeah, I think we all really just compete, and competing just leads to all of us achieving greatness, I guess.
Yeah, to kind of add on to that, it is a very competitive room, but it's also it's a lot of love for each other. Everyone's shooting for each other's jobs, but it doesn't mean we're gonna hide any secrets from each other. If we think a tackle's tipping this or a guard's tipping that, or we see a misstep in each other's steps or stance or anything like that, we're going to give each other's tips. I mean, it has to be one unit kind of family. You know what I mean?
Then Jalen, for you, what do you guys have to do on the offensive side of the ball to get the ball moving and get up to speed?
We just have to play complementary football. Our defense has been able to play really well these first 2 games, and I think if we can just play our style of NIU football, which is hard-nosed, physical, run-heavy, and really just get back to our basics, we can play that Husky football, the hard way football.
And then for you as a receiver, as a receiver in Coach Hammock's program, you're going to have to block a lot, but you're a pretty big guy. What kind of tips do you have for, kind of like how Kate was talking about, what kind of tips do you have for some of the smaller guys that don't have the same size as you when it comes to being physical in a game like this against an opponent that's a little bit bigger than us?
Blocking is an effort thing. Every day we work 5-man sled, really hone in on perimeter blocking. We have to be able to complement our run game with the outside to let those guys burst big runs. So just a want-to and a big effort piece for these guys.
For the defensive guys, I know you guys, coaching staff's been talking all year about the chip on your shoulders and wanting to improve performance. Gotten that more or less for 2 weeks. How do you keep that hunger, keep that spark going? How important is that over the going into this week?
Cade, you want to start?
Yeah, I mean, I think we haven't forgotten. We haven't necessarily been the best unit defensively since I've been here, at least since 21. And seeing everyone tell us how bad we were, that's really rubbed us the wrong way. And now we've grown up. We love playing for each other. What Coach Benedetto and the rest of the defensive staff is doing. People are passionate to play for each other, and we love being around each other. Yeah.
I think to add to that, setting goals, every week we come in with goals to achieve, and that just helps us get to the bigger picture of what we want to achieve for the season.
Jalen is someone who came in last year expecting to contribute and then missing the year, kind of like Trayvon did. What's it like for you now to actually get on the field and play in these games?
Obviously, it's a blessing. I've had a great training staff, great doctors to really help me get back, and just staying honed in and talking to the older guys. We have a lot of guys with a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge. Anything I can do to take information from them and then ultimately contribute to this team is a great opportunity.
For all you guys, when you're coming off a loss, your first one of the year, a home loss against an in-state school, what does that do for your focus level going into this week? Do you recalibrate a little bit? I mean, what's kind of what do you take away from that experience last Saturday?
Right.
I think we take away just the key things that we need to lock in on to make sure we achieve a better turnout for this upcoming game. And pretty much since then, we've noted what we need to work on, and we're focused on our next opponent.
Jalen?
I obviously think that you do need to recalibrate, but we know who we are and what we have on this team. Our coaches believe in us, and we believe in ourselves. So really just coming together and not turning against each other, really just taking accountability and going in there with your head on straight, knowing what you have to do in the next game.
Cade?
Yeah, I grew up around a lot of football, and losses happen, and I hear coaches say all the time, you learn the most from losses, and it's a humbling experience sometimes, but we've learned a lot from this past week, and we've moved on from it, and I think we are really motivated going into this week.
This could go for anyone or all, but do you think winning a game week 1 like you did against Boston College, Power 5 on the road, I know obviously you play the season 1 week at a time, but having that experience so fresh in your mind and just 2 weeks behind us, do you think you could take the stuff that you did out there and maybe have that same success in Nebraska?
Cade?
Yeah, Nebraska is a very good football team. Don't let don't let their record fool you. They played 2 very good football teams at the beginning of the season. But like you said, we're gonna be 1-0 each week. That's our goal. And I think if we go in there and play the game, that we know we can play, I think we're gonna have very similar results to Boston College. Yeah.
I mean, Cade hit it right on the head. If we go in and play how we need to play, we can have similar results as Boston College.
Jalen?
Absolutely. I think if we can, take our positives and attack our negatives, we can grow and improve as a team and as a unit. And we can go into Nebraska confident and aware of who we have to play and really take care of business.
Anything else for you guys?
Just play on, it's on FS1, correct? So pretty much national TV. I mean, are you even aware of that? Does that enter your mind that you're going to be getting all this exposure come Saturday night?
Jalen?
Yeah, absolutely. You're aware of those things, but you can't let the moment be bigger than it is. It's still a football game. You have to go in knowing you're going to face those types of things. In practice, we're pumping crowd noise and preparing for that environment, but it's still football at the end of the day, and we have to enter that moment confidently and be aware of the situation.
Right?
Yeah, like you said, you are aware of that. It's on national TV, but I don't think it really makes a huge impact on how we will perform and how we play. We're just going to play our style of football and do what we do.
I'm not gonna lie, if it wasn't for all the TV timeouts, I don't think I would notice it's on national TV. I just, it's the same game I've been playing since I was in 3rd grade, and I enjoy playing football with all my guys, and I think that kind of helps us zero in on the week.
And then I guess this one's more towards Cade, but since you have played in the stadium, this is a stadium that's bigger than any other stadium. A lot more people than we'll see any other game this year, kind of similar to what Michigan was a few years ago. Do you have any advice for the younger players going into a game like this with the hostility?
Yeah, it's gonna be loud. No surprise there is 90,000 people. It's gonna feel like they're right on top of you because just how the stadium's built. But really, Nebraska fans are actually great fans. You rarely hear cases of them, treating other teams poorly. So I don't think it's gonna be super hostile from that perspective. But on 3rd downs, big plays, it's gonna get loud, and we can't let our momentum kind of flow with how the stadium's going. You know what I mean? We have to control what we can control, and yeah, the crowd's gonna get loud every here and there, but we can't take a step back because of that.
All right, I think we'll let these guys go with that. Appreciate everyone being here. Appreciate you guys being here.